Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Stihl BG55 handheld blower. Customer complaint is that the recoil rope broke. So, every time someone brings in a recoil rope that's broken, I have to wonder, is the rope just old and it snapped? Is the guy just some kind of a beast that yanked the rope right out? Or is there something wrong with the equipment and he pulled 100 times on it before the rope finally gave out? So that's why I pulled off the air filter cover here and just took a look inside. Just to help start satisfying my curiosity on that. Because I don't want to fix a recoil rope on an engine that's scored, right? This rope looks like it has seen better days. And maybe it's just worn out. This engine, kind of looks like it's seen better days. Looks like it could be worn out. We're going to pull the spark plug out and take a look inside just to see. She was in there good and tight. And a quick inspection with our flashlight reveals that the cylinder is clean and shiny. So even if this does have a fuel problem or ignition problem, it's got a clean cylinder, so we're going to get it going for the guy. Now, that's all assuming there's actually something wrong with it. At this point, now we know we have to get the starter fixed. So first thing we do is we remove the little spring clip that's on here that holds the starter pawl in place. Once we get the clip off, we can lift the pawl out. And there we go. Actually, we pulled the whole pulley out with the pawl. Our spring is pretty rusty looking. It's not bent or broken or anything silly like that. But we're going to lubricate it. And I'm using a mix here of transmission fluid and acetone. And the reason for that is I wanted something thin that would penetrate. Properly lube that spring, you got to pull it out of there and lubricate the thing. And I'm not interested in doing that. So our rope knot is jammed up in the pulley there. We're just prying it out. And now we have a new piece of rope. We're going to burn the end so it doesn't fray. And now we got a nice clean end that we can push through the pulley. Put a little overhand knot in there. And we want to try and keep as little bit of rope on the end of the knot, because there's not a lot of space in this pulley. I always try to put that end down into the pulley or the starter handle first and then pull the knot in tight, so that ideally there isn't that piece of string hanging out to get caught up in the starter mechanism, the pawl or something like that. So the pulley's got a notch that lines up with the end of the spring. You got to get that all lined up, and then the pulley will drop down all the way and engage in the spring. Our little metal washer goes on. Our starter pawl goes in. And our little clip. So the customer didn't supply a handle. We're going to dig through this coffee can and see if we can find something. That's my can of handles and caps. This one here from a Husqvarna should work. So the end of the rope is going through the hole in the starter housing. and then we'll put a loose knot on the end, because we really don't know how long the rope's going to be. I just don't want to wind that spring up and then lose everything. So this is kind of a combination of just wrapping the rope and putting a little bit of spring tension on. Now you'll see that there is an excess of rope on this pulley. It actually almost is rolling off the top here. We can't have that. That's just going to end up getting bound up and jammed up in there. We'll have to do the job over again. So we're going to shorten up the rope a little bit and try it again. The length feels pretty good. It looks like, yeah, there we go. So I pulled the rope all the way out, and then I checked to make sure that the pulley would still roll ahead a little bit farther, meaning that with the rope all the way out, I'm not binding that spring. So we've got the rope, you know, in the pulley groove. It's not rolling over the top. We don't have so much spring tension on that we're binding the spring. So we're going to put our final knot in the handle and move forward with this repair. That air filter, the foam end of it looks pretty bad, but it's probably serviceable yet. And the customer only asked for a rewind repair, and if I don't see anything else majorly wrong with it, well, then that's all he's going to get. We got 4 screws holding this starter in place. We'll make sure it's flush with the engine before we crank them screws down. And then once we have all the screws in, we're going to see if it'll run. If it does, we're going to ship it. So that's all I got for you on the Stihl BG55 handheld blower rewind repair. Thanks for watching.